Hang on, Tone. Sorry, mate.
What was that?
That's funny. It's been recording.
This entire time. That's
See,
better. Look,
that's
you
all
can
right,
see
isn't
my
it?
face now.
How's the sound, Paul?
Really good. Yeah.
Excellent sound. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Now, how did you two become friends? Actually,
We
I'm
met.
working on. Yes.
We met through a colleague.
We met through a colleague. And
Did you work together? What happened? Tell me all about it.
we met through a colleague who said Paul wanted to get into podcasting and I wanted to start a podcast. So we were introduced, and the rest is beautiful history.
Is that simple?
Yep. We hit it
Bloody
off
hell.
straight away. We both agreed at the beginning, 50-50, whatever we make down the middle, so there's no fucking about.
Yeah.
And
So,
then that's it. So Paul does all the work and I still make...
I was working with a colleague, MTV at the time. Rich was sleeping with the colleague.
Yeah. I was having sex with the colleague. No, I wasn't actually at that point. That's long gone.
Is this one of your exes?
Yeah.
The opera singer?
Yeah.
No. Does she sing opera?
Well,
Yeah. Is she the one doing the show on BBC right now? Radio 4.
maybe.
Is she the
Probably.
one? Is she? Am I thinking? No.
It's the same one, yes.
Oh, that one. The one we're too terrified to speak about in case she hunts us down. Is that
Not
the one?
terrified, just more don't want to give it airtime.
Yeah.
I don't want to give her any more airtime than she's already had. Than she deserves. Anyway, we just put all that last episode into AI.
That got me thinking. There's a lot of people that aren't that funny that do very well in comedy. Have you noticed that?
Yep. Anyway.
This is on a completely different... No, that's an unrelated note. I didn't mean
How
anything.
is it unrelated? How is it unrelated?
No, it just... No. Look,
It's
I had
definitely
an
linked.
internal thought. You know that gig down in... what's it called? Oh, fuck, what's it called? Top Secret Comedy Club. I
Yes.
forgot it because it's top secret.
The one
But
that
I used to-
secret, yeah.
I've been doing at some point, I don't know why, I've always been intimidated by London movers and shakers, big city folks, people with loads of confidence, and I always feel like I'm going to be watched and judged in London, and I kind of used to I stopped doing gigs in central London because I don't know, I psyched myself out of it,
Yeah.
because I wasn't young and just pushy and elbowy anymore. And so my mindset changed. So I started just doing really well outside of London, in other cities, in other towns, in villages, and ripping it because I didn't have any fear out there.
Yeah.
And then I just thought the other day, what am I doing? It's just like, I looked around the crowd and I thought, why am I nervous for this little gig full of, it's because the crowd's all young.
Yeah.
And young people are a bit thick. They don't have much reference points. So they because I was sitting there watching all the other comedians and I thought, I'm way funnier and cleverer than everyone here. No, but they're all good, but they're young. And so when comedians are young, they do your first steps in comedy. You do relationships.
Yeah.
That's, basic stuff because they haven't had to come up with 12 hours of stand up constantly in villages. Like they haven't. And so that's what I was intimidated by, is they like simple things and confidence. And then I just thought, but they'll like fucking my nonsense and it's confident. Anyway, it just goes to show, if you go with some on the same bill as more mainstream comedians, and then you bring insanity, controlled insanity that's had 25 years of honing, you absolutely rip the fucking balls off it.
The thing is, though, you have a respect. People do respect you in the industry. You have a respect that I don't necessarily have. So you'll go and do a gig like that. Oh, they'll be pleased to have you. Whereas there's been a few times I've messaged people, go, can I come down any room? Oh yeah, we'll let you know. And I don't get afforded that same kind of, oh, Rich is going to come down. Right. I don't get that. So you have another level of respect that I not respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it depends. If they're new and young and they've never heard of anyone outside of their little circle, you can feel. I feel I don't get it too. So I
Yeah.
can, like a young hipster gig that's like 99 Club or I don't know, wherever.
Yeah.
And every comedian's really young, and none of them would know who any of us are.
Yeah, true.
And
Yeah.
so and I don't perform well if I don't feel like I get respect when I walk in. I don't mean like, oh, here
I know what you
comes.
mean, yeah.
No, but if someone's, you'd like to feel known a bit. Like,
No, do you know what? I actually like it the other way. I've had it before where I've been at a gig and I was doing the trial spot, and the guy comparing knew I'd been about, but the rest of them there didn't know who I was or had never heard of me. And then there was something happened, and they said, "Oh, well," and then the compare said, "Well, just get Rich to do a bit more." And then the guy looked at me and went, "Okay," he goes, "Could you do 15?" And I went, "Yeah, I'll give it a go." And then absolutely smashed it. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, I've been doing it a while."
Yeah, because I just did a tour show in Glasgow on Monday night where I did a 55-minute opening, and then I took a break, and then I did another 45 minutes.
Wow.
And to only to 80 people, but my 80 people, so it was easy.
Yeah.
So it's just long. Then I'm doing 10 minutes in the West End to 22-year-olds. But it went well, and I think I've broken the curse. So I think I can get in London again.
Anyway. But this is the thing. Like we've had conversations about this podcast, about what we've talked about on it. And afterwards, you'll go, let's just take that bit out. I'm a bit right. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with what you said. There's nothing wrong with what you said. But you've already talked your way out of it, or talked yourself out of it.
Right.
Good.
So, well, that's perfect. So let's talk about trans stuff then.
We mentioned the Holocaust before. Let's get back into that.
Let's get. I've worked really hard the last couple of years of trying to get politics, or social politics, micro, macro, any of it. Just get it out of my head, get it off my algorithms. It keeps trying to sneak in.
It always will, mate. It always will.
And then you try and get rid of it, and then you go down a rabbit hole, and you go, "No, I feel hatred. I feel hatred for someone. I feel attacked. Why do I feel so attacked? I feel vulnerable. Why do I feel vulnerable and attacked and angry?" And then I think, it's the old algo doing his tricks. Fuck that. I've clicked on some stuff on TikTok, and now all I get is American news now about how Donald Trump's not going to get sworn in because of all this evidence he's going to get done, and Elon Musk and all this other stuff. So now I'm having to try and teach my algorithm something else. Like what else? Well, I tell you what,
anything.
When I started to a number of years back, I got disillusioned because all I used to do is read The Guardian, watch BBC.
Yeah.
But then they were starting to say weird things, and then I was finding out they had changed in 2015. They changed their editor, and they started saying things that didn't feel true. So I'd go to other. I'd go to other newspapers and stuff, and I'd starting to get all this different news that I didn't know about. And then I started realizing, both sides are pushing their own narrative.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm not going to know anything about anything. So I started consuming a really broad range, and I started kind of red pilling myself or something. But I just realized, they all are pushing something. So they all are. There's no side is right, and some sides really right about things, and other ones really correct about other things. Sometimes they're both wrong about some things. And
I'd like to be like producer Paul, who's kind of switched off to everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to be.
I'm looking at
He looks, but you don't get affected. You're not affected by stuff. Like you kind of go, that's that.
Because there's like perfectly good reasons to not like Donald Trump, but then there's loads of other reasons. Then when they add in things that aren't true, you start to think, well, maybe he's all right, and then you go, oh no, he's still that one thing that's definitely true. Don't like that. Yeah, but they should have just left it at that. Don't make him seem more like don't make up the lies about him, because then other people are going to think that it's all lies, but the true things are true.
Well, that's what he does, isn't he? He'll go, yeah, but that's not true. It'll get proven not to be true, and then he'll go, see, they're out to get me. They're all out to get me. None of it's true. Maybe
But
he
anyway,
puts out his own lies. That's what he does.
The good thing about having getting my news from all over the place is I knew, like, I never believed any of the stuff about him not winning. Like, I just knew he's winning the whole time. And also knowing Americans who just going to go, no, trust me, everybody where I'm from, all voting for him. And most of them don't like him, but they're still going to vote for him because he's not the other lot. And the other lot shot themselves in the foot. Look at me saying I didn't want to talk politics, and I'm doing just that.
Let's talk about this then, Tone. This happened to me the other day. I fell down the stairs.
Oh my God, you fucking pillock. What? I mean, honestly, what? It
was the perfect storm. It was the perfect storm.
Yeah.
We've got wooden stairs painted that are painted. I had socks on. I had arms full of stuff, so I wasn't hanging onto the banisters. I got 3/4 of the way down, and then it turns a bit at the bottom, and I just whoosh down.
Wow. And you're 55?
Really fucked myself up.
Ooh. 55 years old, first fall?
52.
52, first fall.
First proper, and then I was backing into a charity shop with the buggy, and there's a little concrete slip, like ramp, and as I went in, I slipped on the ramp bit and went backwards through the doors and then on my arse, and I was trying to hold the buggy up, so that didn't tip over. And then loads of old people had to come and help me up in the charity
Sounds
shop.
like the opening scene of the battleship Potemkin.
It was like Saving Private Ryan.
Your baby carriage goes down the stairs.
And then, of course, they remade that exact scene, didn't they? In, of course, in the Untouchables, didn't they?
Yes.
And they remade the exact same scene when it was Frank Nitti. It's a funny name for a gangster, isn't it?
Nitti.
Frank Nitti was the
Nitti
one.
or Mitty?
Nitti.
Frank
Nitti.
Nitti. Frank Nitti. N-I-T-T-Y. The guy who played Frank Nitti in Untouchables. That was one of the, according to a show that popped up on my YouTube algorithms, one of the top 15 villains in cinema history. It's Frank Nitti.
Really?
Number
Frank
one.
Nitti was the henchman, the dude, the sneaky dude.
Yeah, with the... Hey, see?
He was terrifying, wasn't he?
I'll tell you what happened to me the other day.
Go on.
Is I'd come into London from Canvey Island, and
Have you ever fallen over?
Oh fuck! I've fallen over quite a bit in my time actually, but mainly due to, of course, it doesn't happen anymore. But alcohol related, yes. You know, I've dinged me head up before, and I've busted me toes, and you know, I've done all sorts of that. It doesn't happen anymore. Although. When I've done a lot of driving, I haven't been walking about as much. My legs get a bit weak, and I've noticed my knees buckle a bit here and there. So that's not sexy. It's like if I'm a woman, I'm not thinking to myself, look at my husband. He's sexy. His knees buckle from his.
You look like one of those toys that it'd be like a horse, and then you push the bottom up, and it collapses. Did you ever see those?
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
And over Christmas, I thought I was going to buckle a couple of times. But I'll tell you what happened to me was I was stood on the on London Bridge, and we was doing photos with my family, and I kept backing up, and all of them were taking pictures of just me because that's what I wanted to happen, yeah. And I fell back into the Thames, yeah. And I've only gone in flat, and I'm a strong swimmer, so it wasn't a bother. But there's little rip tides, and the tides took me under, and I went down in the Thames, and it turns out there's a door. And so I'm at the bottom of the Thames. I went through the door, and I go through, and there's an entire little community of tiny little small people who never came up from the war. So they went down there in World War II when the German bombers were coming, and they've all descended from people who've lived underground like little moles. They're mole people. Their hair's falling out. They're white and smooth and shiny.
They've got little eyes.
Tiny little eyes. They can see in the dark. They've never had any vitamin D.
Lovely people. I mean, salt of the earth. Literally salt in the earth. And I had a good knockabout with him, and then I thought to myself, well, my family's going to be worried about me thinking I've drowned. They're not going to know I found a secret door at the bottom of the Thames. I've gone in and met these people who've been living down there for 5 generations. They're not going to think that, are they? Are they? That got a bit more like that was a bit like Elfie fucking Sullivan.
Alfie Sullivan's.
That was a bit like Elfie Sullivan.
Alfie Sullivan's.
So I went back up, and I think I got out a Borough Market tube. I got in there. They had a little side door through there. Popped up, ran up, across down Tower Bridge, down. Anyway, I met up with him, London Bridge, and it was all right. Yes, that's what happened to me.
Have you ever fallen over, Paul?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, from time to time.
Have you fallen off your boat yet?
No, I was trying to stay attached to it.
Has anyone fallen off your boat yet?
No, nobody's fallen off the boat. It's only on the river, so it's there's no waves. Or
No.
anything like that.
Paul,
No.
do you do other podcasts?
Yes.
How many have you got?
I'm sorry?
How many you got?
Quite a few, really, but yeah, there's quite a few corporate ones. So, yeah, big legal firms and things like that.
You work for
corporate
Nickelodeon.
None for Nickelodeon, no. No,
Well,
I'm not sure.
but you work for them.
Oh, yeah, I do, yeah.
Producing.
Yeah, just producing on air promo type things, continuity things.
I gotta get on my voiceover age. I'll go get some voiceover work. As Alfie Sullivan. There's never any work for non-natives who talk like that. From
You have
From,
to look. At,
Turkey.
you have to look at because I was gonna. I've spoken to a couple of people about doing voiceover, and they said, yeah, but you know, when you contact the agents, and you have to look and see if they've got anyone else that's on there that's like you, because if they've already got someone, then they're not going to take you on.
Oh yeah.
And I've got a very sort of specific accent, and I can't really do other accents.
No, but you do a lot of versions of that one.
I do a lot of versions of this one. Yeah. What kind of line am I supposed to have crossed? When you do Tom Hardy, you have to have like you got something like you've been eating. Like Danny Dyer's always got something in his cheeks, like he's been eating. He's been into like this. It's right. Yeah. He's short of the earth.
Who's that, Danny Dyer?
Danny Dyer's got like meat or something in his cheeks. He's been eating. Yeah.
And my
Shorty chat.
do you want to see what's in my YouTube algorithm right now?
Who?
Okay, so first up, your choice is Frankenstein's Lab, which is these two Black American guys who watch comedy videos and laugh at them. And I've gotten to know them over about 10 years since they've been started. And I feel like they're my friends.
Yeah.
And he's doing he's laughing along to a clip from Cumtown, the podcast I was telling you about. You should look up Cumtown. They're funny.
Cumtown.
But they're clips on YouTube. They're very funny, those three guys. Anyway, that one's about
Can you
Matthew.
imagine what Cumtown smells like?
Oh, disgusting. It's like farts. You only like your own.
Who used to say that? He said other people's are disgusting, but your own are strangely delicious.
Yeah. Who said that?
What was his name? Alfie. Is it Alfie? Not Alfie Moore. Can't remember his name. Someone else.
Well, I've got lots of good things to look forward to watching. I've got NHL hockey and videos about that. And, what's this one? Scientists warn against creating mirror life. I don't know what that's going to be about. That looks pretty good. And then suddenly, I don't know why, but I started watching clips from Breaking Bad. And now I've got loads of videos analyzing the characters.
You need to watch Mr. In Between, the Australian TV show.
Mr. In Between.
Yes.
All right, I will do that then.
He's excellent.
You know what I'm looking forward to very much?
Go on.
The very first official documentary about Led Zeppelin.
Oh my God, is that ever going to be good?
Didn't they have a fireplace on their plane?
Probably.
I mean, that just goes to show you, when you've got too much money, when you do silly things like that, like you turn your 747 into a country cottage.
Yeah, they did some pretty naughty things, pretty dodgy things.
They did, underage groupies.
Yeah,
Mind you, there's a lot of that around back then, wasn't there?
There's a lot of it. It seemed to be very
Yeah.
well
There's a lot of
accepted
that.
at the time.
There was a lot of that
about.
around. They were only 19 and 20 anyway, but still, it's still gross.
Yeah.
But actually, maybe they were older. Anyways,
If you had the money, Tony, what would you do? What would you buy? Would you buy a plane
no, I'd buy a little cottage
and then
with
turn it into a plane?
with a little bit of land, and I'd have
Proper plane, right?
Yeah.
2 Falabella ponies. I would have 2
Falabella?
sheep. Yeah, Falabella ponies.
Falabella ponies?
You know Falabella ponies.
I don't know what a Falabella. What's a Falabella pony?
Falabella. They're like tiny ponies. Tiny little ponies. And I'd get a mini cow. Yes, yeah, so it's called Becoming Led Zeppelin, the official.
Ah.
Oh, you should watch the trailer. That'll get you into it.
Are they your
Anyway,
band? Are they the one?
They were when I was like a teenager, and then I didn't care for them for the longest time, and then now I like them again.
Yeah.
It goes like that. If you leave music alone for a while, you'll come back to it, won't you?
That is true, actually. That's very true.
I left the Who alone and then went back to it, and then I made myself sick of them again.
Tell you what young people are doing. They keep putting videos up of themselves walking like Bob Dylan.
They do?
Really?
Yeah, my son sent me one of him and his band doing it the other day. They were going to their gig in Hackney at the Hackney Empire, and he went, "Look at this, Dad!" And it was 2 different. It was like the different stages of Bob Dylan walking. So they've got the is it the freewheeling Bob Dylan? Then there's one of him walking down. Or there's another one. There was like 3 versions of him walking.
Oh, yeah. As he's aged.
Yeah.
Ah, this
That's
reaction
mean.
to the new film.
It must be.
Yeah. What's that actor? He's the actor in it that
Timothy Chalamet.
Chalamet.
I used to think of him as, he's just a little pretty boy. And then I discovered he was an American football fan, and he was on College Game Day picking who's going to win. And I thought, I like him now. I used to really slag him off.
I saw him in a film with Armie Hammer called Call Me by My Name. And there's a moment where Timothy Chalamet has sex with a peach, and then Armie Hammer comes in later on into his room and says, "Hey, how you doing?" Blah blah, and sneaks into his bed, and then he goes, "Did you fuck a peach?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he's all embarrassed. And then Armie Hammer eats it, and I can't stop thinking about it every time I see either of them.
Oh shit!
So he's in June, and I'm going, yeah, but he spunked in a peach.
That's good professional advice, though. I'm glad you told me that, so I'll know not to take that role.
You'll never be remembered for anything else. You could be Oscar winning, and I'd go, yeah, but he did have sex with that banana.
Peach, though. I mean, that's
there was a peach as
people
well.
Fuck bananas for a long time.
I think a banana wouldn't last very long. Banana would have to fuck you, wouldn't it?
Well, the peach could fuck you, really.
Yeah, especially if you leave the stone in.
This is a grim conversation, isn't it?
If you had to have sex with a fruit, which one would you?
Do you ever watch those videos on YouTube of you get those guys who used to be in the mafia, but now they're reformed characters now, and they talk about that time during that life.
Yes.
And, Sammy the Bull. The thing about Sammy the Bull is he was a liar. They air their beefs. Do you watch those?
Yeah.
That's a genre that
when they talk about what they did. There's all the East End gangsters as well, and there was one. He said, "I told him." So what I told him, I said, "You go and get my shooter, right, and put a barrel, put a shell in the one barrel, And then in the other one, no, was it? I said put ice or something. Put ice in the barrel, and then we'll take you down. I went down there. I went, oh, you got to leave the owners of that chippy alone. And I shot him. I shot him in his knees. Well, and of course, because his ice, it dissolves. There's no evidence. And I went back and I went, it's done, it's sorted. And he went, really? I went, yeah. He goes, how much do I owe you? I went, you just sort out me and my mum fish and chips every Friday, and we'll call it quits.
Bloody hell!
How mad is that?
Or there'll be a video about a meek, mild-mannered kid from the West Country who's now 55 but was one of Britain's biggest cocaine importers and spent time in a Peruvian prison. And you think, I'll just watch an hour of this. It's a terrible life. This guy's made some terrible choices.
They used to call him the Mouse. You never knew he was around, but he was one of the biggest drug dealers in the South.
Yeah. A mild-mannered boy. It's like an Express or a Daily Express headline or, story.
Yeah. Mild-mannered Oxford graduate drug kingpin gets nailed.
Did you ever watch Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul?
I did. I haven't watched Better Call Saul yet. Funnily enough, I was looking at clips in between you and I hooking up. Keeps popping up.
Yeah, you got to watch. There's a character that gets introduced in Better Call Saul called Lalo Salamanca, and that's one of the best evil guys. Best way to do is watch a video of the 15 best villains in cinema history, and then just go through all the movies they're in. I'll tell you what was good. Did you see Wallace and Gromit, the Christmas movie?
No.
Oh, that is a roller coaster ride. Because I try and watch every animated thing about Christmas every Christmas, and this is a brand new one, so we were so excited. We had to wait till January 1st, I think. Or I can't remember, but I remember really being in anticipation. It was so good. There was so much. There was so many chases in it. And, can't recommend it highly enough. See, it's a funny thing to say out loud, but it's true. At the end
There's
of it,
someone in Bath that drives the van. He's got the van, the little Wallace and Gromit van.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I drove past him. Drove past him the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wonder what the van does.
Don't know if he's just got it. It's very cool. Very nice. Wallace and Gromit.
Shush.
I was going to say that barking's not at this end.
Oh.
Can you hear barking?
Yeah, it's all right.
Oh, that's our egg delivery. We got a guy, this young kid from Dalston, out in Dalston. He started it's like a little bit of a hipster business. So anybody who's got a small holding or has some chickens in their backyard or whatever, he kind of gets in touch with all of them and he collects all their eggs and he sells them. What? And then he got quite successful. So he started getting eggs from a farmer that's really close on the inside of the M25. There's a chicken farmer out there. So they're all fresh, free range, kind of really free range eggs. Who knows what they're feeding them, but they're so nice. They taste so much different than a regular egg. The yolks
poachers, they sit in the water.
I like a good egg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when you poach them, that's right. You got to have country chickens. It's the only
we
way
used
you
to
can
have
poach
chickens
an egg.
in my, and they made the best eggs after the morning after eating spag bowl.
Oh really?
They love spaghetti bolognese, and there is nothing funnier than watching a chicken eat spaghetti bolognese as well. Our children were quite small, and whatever they didn't finish, we just threw at the chickens, and then they'd have their Lady and the Tramp moment, trying to beak up spaghetti.
Paul, didn't you hire a tractor to dig a hole to bury a donkey?
Yes.
So my memory's right on that, isn't it? You killed a donkey and then had to bury it.
It died, didn't it? Did it die?
It died of old age, which is quite something for a donkey.
And then you had to bury it.
They live. They live. Ooh.
Well, they could live to 75 in the wild.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, 75 years old. Yeah, that's the oldest donkey.
Like 70, 75. Yeah, 70, 75.
75 years
70,
old.
75.
75. Of course, he was a queer. Is he a
I think it was a
queer?
queer. Was it queer? I think it was a queer.
I think he was a queer. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Brown,
Queer, yes.
you're a queer. Yes,
75.
yes, I'm a queer. No, you're a queer. Is Keir Starmer, is he a queer? Oh, yes. He plays rugby.
It's a queer.
Can you play rugby and still be a queer? He's a queer.
It's encouraged.
It is encouraged. It's encouraged. It's accepted. Yeah.
It's a funny old film angle of you guys partially in the shot. Is that what it'll look like on a YouTube?
No, it'll be full widescreen.
Just us. It looks like we're at the dentist.
Yeah.
I like this light I got. It makes my teeth not look as yellow as they actually are.
That's the thing about having a beard. It accentuates your yellow teeth, doesn't it?
It accentuates the positive. Keeps the chin jutting out if you've lost
It
lots
does.
of
It
teeth.
gives you shape. It gives you a chin, a jawline. Yes.
Just staring into our own camera.
That's why Paul
my-
looks like an old potato.
That's what my son does when I FaceTime him. I'm talking to him and I've got some important information I want to exchange with him, and he's going. He does that the whole time, and I go, "What are you doing? We're trying to talk." Oh yeah.
Sorry, Dad. I'm just looking at my own head. Right, I'm gonna have to go. I have to go
All
to
right,
a
bud.
gig.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, we got 2 to put out.
lovely.
we have. It'll be
Well,
interesting
that was a lot of fun. I'll
This
come
one's
up with.
mucky.
AI does the synopses for
Oh,
these
yeah.
shows. You know what? It did occur to me in the last one. It had a look at, it transcribed the show, and then it picked out the highlights of the show, which was cathedrals, history. It ignored the Holocaust completely.
Oh, right.
That's
Is
interesting.
that an AI does that?
Yeah.
And so did it mention Tor 4?
This was just some headlines at the moment, so I have to dig a bit
For
deeper.
Christi.
Yeah.
The story
look.
of 4 Christi.
Let's see how it spells it as well.
Well,
For-
he came over from Denmark, didn't he?
FOR.
FOR.
All right, lads. I'll
right,
catch up with you
lovely.
next week then, yeah?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Cheers, boys.
Love
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye. But I don't really leave.
Silence in the court.